You're listening to the Non-Del Influencers Podcast, brought to you by First Funding. Join host Matt Coles as he delivers powerful conversations to help non-delegated lenders succeed and scale in today's market.
All right, everyone. Thanks for taking the time to watch this latest video or episode of Non-Del Influencer Podcast. Super excited today to have Reina Murillo with VP on the West Coast of Freedom. Welcome to the podcast, Reina. Thanks for taking the time today.
Hey, thanks for having me, Matt. I'm excited to be on. Definitely.
Reina, you and I have known each other for a very long time. How long have you been over at Freedom now?
Oh, gosh. I just celebrated 17 years.
17 years, which is a lifetime in this industry. And one of the things I've always admired about you, there's a million things that you do really great. One of the things that I always thought you did really good is fostering relationships. Talk to me a little bit about the relationships that have held true throughout your entire career and ones that you are maybe taking on, recently for the first time.
Thank you. Yeah, definitely. I started in this business, 20 something years ago, started with Freedom as an AE. And, we started I've always loved relationships. I feel like, being in this, in the sales in the mortgage industry is still somewhat a small world. And, we get to make friends for a living, right? So part of that is just being able to, we started Non-Del in 2012, as an AE growing. We don't have non-QM or a lot of ton of products. So I thought, how can I just think like an LO and make LOs more money, right? So when we started Non-Del in 2012, that was fairly new to a lot of people. Yeah. And I just decided to just jump in and see what I can become an expert at. LOs didn't have time, broker owners didn't have time to learn about this whole new thing. So I took it upon myself to just go out and meet people, learn about it. I happened to meet Nate Clear, who was an AE at the time for First Funding many years ago. And I asked if I could go out in the field with him, if, we can share clients. He took me up on it. We went and hit the streets together and learned a lot from each other. We really both got an education from each other's job. And I think that's really a testament to, how we've grown today is just the relationships, knowing about each other and learning about both sides of the business so we can help our clients.
Yeah. And, 17 years, it probably feels more like family than work sometimes, quite a bit, right? And one of the things that I know that's happened to you probably in the last few years is you grew into a management level, right? I mean, you kind of took on the role of a manager. And a lot of times loan officers that are branching out on their first time, they also kind of take on the role of management for the first time. Maybe it's the first time that they're hiring somebody. Any lessons learned through that path? Because, people who have watched this podcast in the past, they have heard me say a million times, I was probably the worst manager for the first 3 or 4 years of my career. And any lessons learned from you while you made that journey yourself?
Well, thanks for asking. I don't really believe that for you, Matt, for sure. You've been one of the people that, as becoming a manager and dealing with AEs and managing relationships, I called you many times and asked for your advice. So I appreciate you taking those calls and really, kind of helping me with that. But I too have made mistakes and I'm still making those mistakes. It's really about the people. I can't believe how much of a people business this is, how it's a lot of psychology around it, right? There's a lot of feelings between loan officers, account executives, managers, and that's always moving. So I would say it's just really managing the relationships and understanding how everybody works differently and that you need to kind of learn their way. Luckily, I am a good listener, so I've learned to do that fairly quickly. And it's just really dealing with that, knowing their strengths and weaknesses, and just helping them with that portion of it. Definitely.
In our world, we see a lot of broker to bankers, and really it's maybe the first time that they're hiring maybe someone else to come in and handle, warehouse funding side for them or whatever it might be. And I always ask them, well, what did you do for a job description? "Oh, I just reached out to a couple of people. I'm like, now with Chat GPT, we can build the job descriptions pretty easily. Have you guys started putting out Chat GPT into your world at Freedom right now?
No, we don't use ChatGPT per se a lot. We are really focused on compliance and security.
Right.
We do have though is that we've been using internally is Guideline Guru. That's been
Okay.
we're integrated our guidelines with it, and eventually, probably towards the beginning of 2026, we'll probably be sending that out to our clients. But
Oh,
it's
that's
been
awesome.
amazing right now for AEs to be able to use that, cross-reference it with our underwriters, and just save a lot of time and make sure that we're giving accurate information when we're quoting scenarios.
Yeah, I would imagine that it's probably a lifesaver for some of your account executives because every unique situation comes across. You're like, I think I've dealt with this in the past, but guidelines change, things change. You just want to make sure you're staying on
That's
top of it.
exactly right. Yeah,
Right.
and at Freedom, we have a really good tenure of AEs. I mean, the average AE has been here more than 10 years. So, and a lot of our underwriters have been here for longer than that. So we have a really good, like you said, a good family that we can, understand and know. And we also share a lot within our AE team as well.
I want to. I love that you went out in the field with Nate, president of First Funding, probably when he was just getting started
Yeah.
in this role. Probably it had to be what 10, 12 years ago at this point.
Yes. Yes.
So you've seen the evolution of non-Del, and you guys are making some big strides in that market space as well. Talk to me a little bit about maybe some of the fears that were, in place when you first started to sell it versus some of the myths and the fears that are in place today. I mean, I definitely have an opinion on it, but I wanted to hear what your takeaway is. Some of the challenges you had to overcome in the past, and now you have to overcome today.
Yeah, definitely. There's been some huge swings. I mean, in the beginning, there was, just a lot of unknowns, right? So being able to contact Nate at First Funding and all your resources and being able to refer, our clients to you was huge. I mean, there wasn't really other warehouse lenders that were doing anything in the same in regards to education. So having you guys as support really helped me and our whole team at that time really raise, our volume of production. We had a big market share during that time. It's kind of fallen off since COVID, but
Yeah.
we're growing that as well. The big thing that's happened in the last year is we're doing the full disclosures now, which is huge. Obviously, the biggest risk were doing those disclosures incorrectly. Some small mistakes could really cost you at the end. So the fact that we've taken that on has been a huge positive. And we've really grown our non-Del business this summer just with the disclosure portion of it.
Yeah, non-Del by definition is mitigating the risk of underwriting, right? And now you're mitigating the risk of incorrect disclosure, something not done correctly. I mean, relying on the investor to provide those service levels. And kudos to your guys' team for rolling that out and bringing it out to your customers. But I want to highlight one thing that you mentioned, which is the education piece of it, right? I know you're a big believer in education because at the end of the day, kind of my go-to line when I was on your side of the ledger, which is the account executive is way more than just the daily price sheet that the company decides to pull out, right? I mean, it's education about how to handle different markets. How do you and your team, you have an amazing team of account executives at Freedom. How do you guys go about educating clients? Like, what's your goal when you go out in the field?
Well, honestly, I feel extremely lucky to be at Freedom and to have this position with some of the caliber of AEs that we have. Again, 10 plus years from almost all of our AEs now. And I've learned from them. They've learned from me. We share resources. We've created, presentations together. And we share. Anytime somebody has run into an issue, we share it every single week, what's going on, so we can educate each other and make sure that we take the best care of our clients as we can. So it's pretty exciting. We run into something new still, during these years, which is surprising. But we are just pushing out that education, creating our own information that we can share with our clients to make sure that we're the best advocate and consultant when it comes to non-Del.
Yeah, and you guys have such a great place in the market. I mean, you said it yourself, right? You guys kind of have your own, you know what you're getting with Freedom. You know that you're not going to get, non-QM product.
Right.
It's going to be great conventional and government lending with the smartest AEs out in the field, typically. And so just when you're looking at the way that non-Del is kind of regrowing at Freedom today, what does it look like for you today? Like, are you finding that your account executives are attacking the field and getting the opportunity? Are they bringing new business out to them? Like, what does it look like for you?
Well, this in the last couple of years, we tried to sell non-Del. A lot of clients were on the fence. They were really concerned about the risk that involved, and they were just coming back from some strong years and then some really dry years, right? Of rebuilding that. They wanted the opportunity, but they were really concerned about the risk. So the fact that we are doing the disclosures for our clients, it's really jumped us off as far as all those clients that were on the fence. They're ready to go. Now the risk, so much of the risk is taken out of it. As of recent, I would say some of the things that we're running into is we have a really aggressive government 5/1 arm right now.
Yeah.
It's priced really well. People are seeing it, giving us calls about it. And a lot of our non-Dels are wanting to promote that product. I think it's a great way to promote it, but then the disclosures are a little bit different, right? We haven't done ARMs in a really long time. Right. So it's a little bit different from that. So right now we've decided to, let our clients know that if they're a full down, they're typically doing all their disclosures, but they're concerned about a risk of a 5/1 arm and doing those disclosures incorrectly, we offer to do those disclosures for them. So it's a really big benefit. It really helps take the risk out, and we can, take it and run with it. So we have a lot of different options, not just, doing all or nothing, but we give them a chance to do the initial disclosures and we do the CD and the docs, or we'll do everything, or they can do everything. It's a pretty boutique kind of structure that we're doing.
Yeah, and you don't think of Freedom as a boutique type of lender sometimes, right? Because they are a big player, and they got a lot of signage everywhere. I mean, every trade show I go to, Freedom's partaking in. And so I saw you at NAM recently, NAM National out in Las Vegas. How was that trade show for you? And what were some of the buzz that you were hearing while you were there?
Oh, it was a great trade show. I thought the turnout this year was really good. I saw a lot of people I hadn't seen the last couple of years, so that was good to see a little bit of a revival of a lot of people that I know. It was good to see Nate there as well. I hadn't seen him for a little bit. I also attended your guys' non-Del session, and I really enjoyed it. It was probably one of the best ones that I went to this year, because not only did you talk about the benefits, a lot of people can bullet point the benefits, but you also had that compliance person, Melissa, there. And I thought she was amazing, just kind of pointing out things that are needed to get started, and that it isn't just a walk in the park. There are some risks to it, but they're calculated good risks that just people need to know. We need to get the word out a little bit more. I think that's what benefits, because it's truly their company. They can sell themselves. They have so many benefits for it. That they should know every aspect of it. So at Freedom, we do know, our AEs do know what entails all of that. So we're all about education.
Yeah, I appreciate you saying that, because when I go out to trade shows, and I do have a sales job, and I do like to close, right? That's what I do. I'm a closer on a lot of things, but at the end of the day, like, to convince somebody or to talk to somebody about moving from broker to banker, you are changing their business structure, and it's not for me to decide whether they want to move from broker to banker. It's not a hard sell, right? I love the panel that we did, because we do talk, and this is my whole sales team, our approach, right? We do talk about the risk. We do talk about the necessary steps that are taken. All we're trying to do is give you an avenue, but we also want to make sure you protect yourself from anything that could go wrong. And one of the things that I really do appreciate is the investors like Freedom embracing a non-Dell channel and their sales team going out there and talking about the same thing, talking about the risks and the benefits. And it's not a, hey, you got to do this. I mean, listen, I love the TPO channel. Whether you want to be a broker or non-Dell, do whatever you want. I think there's some benefits to being a non-Dell, and I can talk to them blue in the face about it. But if it's not the right business decision for you or your company, then God bless, you don't have to do it, right? It's not a thing that you need to go do. It's not going to make or break. It's not going to make or break what you want to do.
Definitely. But what we've seen as for the AEs, I know that AEs have asked me, what is the benefit to selling non-Dell Freedom AEs or AEs just out in the industry? And I've said from experience that it is, you typically have better relationships and your production doesn't rise and fall as it does in the TPO channel. You're developing strong relationships. And because of that, you do have more responsibility with your clients, but at the same time, better relationships. So you probably have stronger, steady production as opposed to, somebody coming and going on the TPO side.
Yeah. I mean, and then some of the other buzz that I heard while we were there, I mean, obviously it kind of came at a great time because rates were kind of dipping, right? And so we felt a lot of positive momentum. I think a lot of lenders probably had the biggest month that they've had in years in October 2025, and it's setting up for a great fourth quarter for the year.
For sure.
What are you guys looking forward to for the next year ahead? Is there one big project or something that's really on your mind that you're trying to develop out?
We have a couple of projects coming around. We could be coming out with some new products that's still in the works. Probably some new technology. All of it's kind of still up in the air. What we do know and we're prepping for is the refi boom. We're already hiring for next year. We have some technology in play to just help streamline the process. We've already moved our process to a different way so we can scale a lot quicker because we know when it comes quick and we want to be prepared for it. So we have a whole, a project right now called Refi Ready to make sure that we're in process and we're ready for the next refi boom. Other than that, really it's just growing the non-Dell space because of the disclosures. We expect that to really, all the people we've been talking to that haven't pulled the trigger yet to actually do that towards the new year. So it's about ramping up that department and making sure that we get the education out there from our AEs to make sure our clients know that we are their best consultant.
I mean, from my seat, right, it didn't take a lot for us to have 25% increase in production. It only took like 30 basis point drop in the 30-year fix for us to have an increase. And so, knock on wood, if rates do drop going into the year ahead, lenders or investors like Freedom, they need to be ready, right? Because we did this before. We cut way too close to the bone back in 2020. And then all of a sudden rates dropped and none of us were ready for the volume that was ready to come through. And it just created a bottleneck. So I talk about this quite a bit, right? Like what happens if rates drop 0.5% tomorrow? Are you ready to take it in, right? You got to build it now because by the time it hits, it's going to be too late, right? That volume just comes fast.
Definitely. We definitely learned from 2020. I mean, we got killed for at one point. So, we learned a lot from that. And I'm so thankful to, Freedom leadership to really get in and dig their heels in and kind of find different processes to make sure that we were ready for something scalable. We've been doing cross training for the last few years. We've been, having people on board to move. We've done tests. So, we're definitely ready. We're excited about it. It's about time.
And I think that people, can take, maybe in November and December and be like, put pen to paper. Ginger and I did this whole planning your business type of thing about, building out your entire business plan. And now's a really good time for people to prepare for what it's going to look like, because I know what it's like. I just went through it, right? It got so busy in the middle of October that all my projects that I had fell by the wayside. I couldn't keep up, right? And so picking up pen to paper. And, listen, quite honestly, ChatGPT has been a huge help for me with that, because now that I can leverage that and kind of keep, bookmark what my projects are and what I'm working on a regular basis to make sure I keep that momentum going.
It's huge. I definitely use it myself, and I use it a lot for home stuff. I not only do it, I'm a manager at work, but I'm a manager at home, right? So I have to organize myself as much as possible for it. So
well,
it saves a lot.
you are a great follower on Instagram, because while I'm sitting down on my couch watching football, I see that you're hiking everywhere. So what's the best hike that you went on recently?
Gosh, yeah, that's been my new thing, is backpacking. So not only are we doing hikes, but we're taking 3 or 4 days trips back in the backcountry of the Eastern Sierras. And
wow,
Matt, if you would have asked me if that was something I'd be interested in a few years ago, I would have said no. But we are in a stressful business, right? It's nice to just unplug and get away and just refocus and recenter. I've seen some beautiful, I had no idea out in the Sierras, there's so many lakes, they can't even name them all. And it takes, days to get to them. And they're some of the most beautiful, pristine places I've ever seen. So I feel fortunate to be able to work out and get to there and do that and recharge and unplug and be ready for the business when it comes. So,
and you guys are doing it as a family, right?
We've done a few family. Me and my husband do them. We're more interested in it than the kids are. Our kids
really?
are teenagers now, so they'll do it once or twice a year. But that's about it.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Reina, I can't thank you enough. You've always been a great partner to me personally and to First Funding, and so I'm really excited for what the future holds for you guys over there at Freedom. And I just think that you guys are a great partner on that side of it. And I know your team is very, very strong. I know all of them really well. It's a great group of account executives that can really help people grow their business, and with the product and a lender that they can trust too. So really excited for you guys in the future.
Well, I'm excited for First Funding too. I heard some tidbit that you guys were like 2.9% of the market or something like that. I think that's amazing. So a testament to, Nate and you and what you're growing. I think it's amazing. And I love getting more of the education out there and just help partnering in education with our clients. I think it's a win-win situation.
Yeah, little old First Funding. It's not so little anymore, but we're super excited.
Not at all.
All right, thanks, Reina, and we'll look forward to seeing everyone on the next episode of the Non-Del Influencer Podcast.
That's great. Thanks, Matt.
Thanks for tuning into the Non-Del Influencers Podcast, powered by First Funding. For more resources and episodes, visit nondelinfluencers.com.